So we begin our class either seated or lying down, whichever you find more comfortable, in whatever shape you prefer. Taking a moment to allow yourself to settle down into whatever supports are beneath you. Scanning through the body and noticing each and every place where the body touches down, where you make contact with some other object. And start to allow yourself to settle into that object. Getting a little bit heavier at each one of those points of contact. Finding a sense of grounding, a sense of connection with the support beneath you. If you'd like, you can close your eyes or let your gaze soften downwards. Releasing the muscles of the face and relaxing the jaw open, allowing the tongue to fall away from the roof of the mouth. And continuing to scan through the body, noticing any areas where you feel like you're holding on, where you feel like there's tightness or tension. And imagining those areas softening and releasing, consciously relaxing the body as you go. And from there, we'll start to bring some awareness to our breathing, not necessarily trying to change anything. First, just noticing how the breath feels as it enters and exits the body. Noticing what parts of the body move as you inhale and exhale. And if you do notice that your breathing is a bit shallow or short, try taking the next inhale a little bit more deeply into the body. Imagine that air traveling all the way down the length of the spine, filling up the lungs and filling up the belly. And as you exhale, let it leave in reverse. Belly softens, lungs empty, ribs knit back together as the air travels back up and down. Finding a slow, steady rhythm. Inhaling, filling up the body. And exhaling, releasing. And once you found that slow, steady rhythm of breath, taking another moment to notice how the body feels. Noticing what parts of the body move as you inhale and exhale. And we'll start to add a little bit more movement, gently wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. Maybe circling wrists and ankles, or turning your head from side to side. And bring everything back to stillness. If you are laying on your back, taking a moment to draw your knees in towards your chest and roll over onto whichever side of the body you prefer. Allowing yourself to adjust to that new shape. And then slowly making your way up to whatever seated position you find most comfortable. So you could be seated with your legs crossed, they could be extended. You could sit on a prop or a piece of furniture. And take a moment to ground equally through both sides of the body. Sitting up tall, lifting up through the crown of the head, and anchoring down through both sitting bones. From there, let's drop the chin down towards the chest, and we'll slowly roll the chin over towards one shoulder. Go back down through center and over to the other side. Taking your time, moving from side to side. Allowing yourself to pause in any spot where you feel like you might need a longer stretch. And then we'll bring the head back to stillness at center. Sitting up nice and tall once again. Let's lift the shoulders up towards the ears as we inhale. We'll squeeze them together and draw them down the back as we exhale. Lifting up as you breathe in, and squeezing and lowering as you breathe out. Really taking your time and noticing any sensation that accompanies the movement. Focusing on that space between the shoulder blades, feeling the muscles squeeze together. And then we'll change directions as we inhale, lifting up, but as we exhale, rolling the shoulders forward, spreading shoulder blades nice and wide, making space across the upper back. And then we'll bring the shoulders back to stillness. As we inhale, let's take both hands up towards the ceiling, looking up. And as we exhale, we'll lower the hands back down, looking down. Inhaling, rising hands and gaze. And exhaling, releasing both down again. Working to match your movement with your breath. So as you reach the top of your inhale, your hands are meeting at the top. And as you meet the bottom of your exhale, your hands are touching down on the floor. Noticing if one is faster than the other. Noticing any sensation that starts to occur in the shoulders or in the arms. And the next time the hands come up, we'll leave the right arm lifted. Lower the left hand down onto the floor and extend that right arm across towards the left side. Inhaling to reach up and exhaling to fold. Anchoring down through the right hip and lengthening all along the right side of the body. If you notice your right shoulder dipping in, draw it back, open. And again, as we inhale, we'll lift up. As we exhale, maybe fold a little bit deeper. Your gaze can be down towards your left hand or up towards the ceiling, whatever feels more comfortable for you. And then we'll switch sides, inhaling, reaching up. And exhaling in the other direction, dropping the right hand, lifting the left arm up and over. Again, taking a moment to ensure that the shoulders are in the same line as the hips. Reaching up as we breathe in and softening, folding as we breathe out. Choosing your focal point based on what is most comfortable for your neck. And then breathing to ease into the pose. Releasing all the way back. Let's drop that left hand down onto the left knee. We'll take the right hand back behind us. As we inhale, we'll press into both hands. And as we exhale, we'll twist open towards the right side. Drawing the right shoulder back, maybe looking over the right shoulder towards the wall behind you. As you inhale, press into the hands to lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, soften and open towards the right. Good. As we inhale, we'll release, coming back to center. We'll bring the right hand onto the right knee, left hand down onto the floor behind or beside us. As we inhale, let's press into the hands and lift up. As we exhale, let's draw the left shoulder back and look over the left shoulder. With each inhale, lengthening the spine, lifting up a little bit more tall. And with each exhale, opening towards the left. Breathing in to lengthen and breathing out to soften. Inhaling to release, we'll come back to center. And from here, let's make our way up onto our hands and our knees, coming into our tabletop shape. Moving any props out of the way. We'll allow the shoulders to stack over the hands. Knees are directly below the hips. Press down through each fingertip. You can either have the toes flat on the floor or you can tuck them under, whatever feels better for you. And we'll start by moving through a few rounds of cat and cow. As we inhale, we'll lower the belly, draw the shoulders back and look forward. And as we exhale, we'll round the spine, spread the shoulders and look back to the knees. As we inhale, lengthening the front of the body, looking ahead. And as we exhale, lengthening the back of the body, dropping the head, looking back to the knees. Working to find your own comfortable rhythm. And once again, matching your movement with your breath. And then we'll come back to stillness at center, finding a neutral spine. Let's take the knees a little bit wider apart on the mat. We'll keep the hips lifted and the arms straight as we start to walk the hands out in front of us, keeping the hands about shoulder distance apart and allowing the chest and forehead to melt down towards the mat, coming into extended puppy pose. As we inhale, reaching fingertips away from tailbone, lengthening the whole spine. And as we exhale, softening the chest and forehead down, stretching through the side body, through the chest, through the arms. Breathing in to lengthen and breathing out to soften. And let's walk the hands all the way back up towards the body. The knees together, and then all the way up, right, bringing hand to hips. From here, let's take the left foot towards the left side. You can point the toes forward or out towards the left or up towards the ceiling. And we'll find our gate pose by sliding the left hand down the left leg and reaching the right arm up and over, lengthening along the right side of the body and stopping when you start to feel a gentle stretch along the left leg. Breathing in to lift up and breathing out to fold. And just as we did at the start of the class, keeping that right shoulder tucked back so that the shoulders are in the same plane of movement as the hips. You can either look down towards your left hand or up towards the ceiling, and try not to put any pressure on your knee on the left side. So your left hand is resting pretty lightly, using the strength of the core to lift up and fold without putting that pressure on the left leg. Good, let's release. We'll come all the way back up. We'll drop the right hand down onto the floor. Plant the left foot down if it wasn't already, so the toes are pointing the same direction as the body is facing. And then we'll extend the left arm over towards the right side. It's like a modified side angle, lengthening the whole left side of the body. Breathing in to reach and breathing out, maybe pressing the hips a little bit further forward and up. Good, you can stay there. Or if you'd like to test your balance, you can extend your left arm up towards the ceiling and then start to float your left foot up off the floor, coming into a modified half moon pose. Bringing the leg parallel with the floor, flexing through the left ankle, drawing those toes back towards the body. Gaze can be forwards or down or up, whatever you'd rather. Breathe in, stretch, reach, and breathe out. We'll come back to center. Coming all the way back upright, bringing hands onto hips once again. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Extending the right leg out. Toes can point forwards, out towards the right side or up towards the ceiling. From here, we'll start to slide the right hand down and then extend the left arm up and over, coming into gate pose. Choosing your focal point, your drishti. Inhaling to lift up, exhaling to fold. Being mindful not to put any pressure from the right hand into the right leg. One more inhale, and then we'll come all the way back upright, dropping that left hand down onto the floor, planting the right foot down so that the right toes are pointing the same direction as the body. We'll extend the right arm over towards the left side, reaching the fingertips away from the ankle, lengthening the whole right side of the body. As we inhale, we'll reach, and as we exhale, maybe press the hips a little bit further forward. Notice if that changes the stretch at all. Breathing in to reach, breathing out to soften. And you can either choose to stay here, or you can take those right fingertips up towards the ceiling and then float the right foot up off the floor. Again, bringing the right leg parallel with the ground. You might start to feel some activity through the outer right leg, outer right hip. Flex at the ankles so the toes point forwards. And then either look down towards the left hand or up towards the right. Taking a nice, slow, deep breath in. And then we'll exhale, releasing, coming back to center. From here, let's step the right foot forward on the mat, bringing that right knee to around a 90-degree angle. Toes can point forwards or slightly out to the side. We'll keep a bit of weight in the back foot as well. Press down through the tops of the left toes. And then we'll look for a spot where we start to feel a stretch along the front of the left hip. So if you don't feel it where you are just yet, come back a little bit. Tuck your tailbone under and forward, and then lean into the pose once again. If you're still not feeling it where you are, you can start to walk your right foot forward, stacking your knee over your ankle each time you move, and keeping that position of the pelvis by tucking the tailbone down and forward, and then stop when you find that point. That sensation, there's a little bit of a stretch along the front of the left hip. You can stay with hands on hips. You can bring them together in front of heart center. You can extend them up overhead, softening the shoulders down, and finding activity through the arms. So if the arms are extended up overhead, spreading the fingers nice and wide. The hands are at heart center, pressing the tips of the fingers and the outer edges of the palms together. And same thing if hands are on hips, pressing those hands towards the center of the body. Then lift up tall, breathe out, press down through the top of the left foot, bottom of the right foot. Good. If they're not there already, we'll bring hands together at heart center. Take a nice deep breath in to lengthen the body up. As we exhale, we'll twist towards the right side. You can either have your body elevated, or if you'd like, you can tuck your left elbow over your right knee if that's comfortable for you. It's a little bit of a deeper twist. Remember to keep lunging into the right knee. Lengthening the spine as we inhale, maybe twisting a little bit deeper as we exhale. One more inhale and exhale here. And then we'll inhale to release, coming back to center. We'll bring hands onto hips and we'll step the right foot back beside the left. We'll do the same on the other side, starting by stepping the left foot forward, stacking the left knee over the left ankle. Toes can point either straight towards the top of the mat or slightly out to the side. We're going to look for a little bit of a stretch along the front of the right hip here. So to start off with, we'll adjust the position of the pelvis, coming back a little bit, tucking the tailbone down and forward, and then leaning into the pose once again, noticing any sensation across the front of the right hip. If you're already feeling it there, you can stay where you are. If you need to move a little bit further, you can walk the left foot forward a little at a time, stacking the left knee over the left ankle each time you move it, and checking in. Stopping when you find that point, that edge, and then choosing the position of your hands, either leaving them at your hips, bringing them together in front of your heart, or extending them up overhead. And just as we did on the other side, we'll find some energy through the arms and hands, making them a little bit more active. And take a couple of slow breaths here, inhaling to reach up, exhaling to root down, pressing down through the top of the right foot, bottom of the left foot. And then if they're not there already, bringing hands together in front of the heart. We'll inhale to lengthen the spine. As we exhale, we'll twist towards the left. Again, you have the option to keep your upper body more upright, or you can tuck your right elbow around your left knee if that's comfortable for you. We'll breathe in to lengthen and breathe out, soften, maybe twist a little bit more. Okay, let's inhale to release. And from here, we'll step all the way up to standing. So maybe bringing that left foot back in a little bit closer, and then making our way up into our mountain pose. So mountain pose is a fairly active pose. Feet are about hip distance apart, or a little bit wider, a little bit closer, whatever feels most comfortable and stable for you. Toes can again point straight forwards or slightly out to the sides. Let's loop the shoulders up, back and down, and then we'll extend the hands, either spreading the fingers nice and wide or drawing them together. So again, there's some energy through the palm of the hand, maybe through the arms as well. As we inhale, we'll lift up through the crown of the head, drawing everything in and up. And as we exhale, we'll press down through the ball of the foot and the heel. So I always like at the start of this pose to lift my toes up, feel the ball of the foot and the heel come into a deeper contact with the ground. And then hold on to that contact as I lower my toes back down. As we inhale, lifting up. As we exhale, pressing down through those parts of the feet that connect most deeply with the ground. Starting to find a little bit more activity through the legs, maybe engaging the glutes, engaging the quads, feeling the kneecaps lift a little bit. Feeling really strong and really steady. From here, let's bring our hands onto our hips, and we'll slide our right foot back behind us, tucking the toes under and pointing the foot forward so the heel is pressing back. And similar to what we did in our low lunge, we want to find a little bit of a stretch across the front of the right hip, nothing too intense. And we'll have the left knee stacking over the left ankle. So that might mean you need a little bit of a closer stance, finding that feeling there, or a little bit of a longer stance. It's up to you. We'll press back through the right heel, making that right leg nice and active. And then similar positions for the arms. You can have your hands at your hips, hands at heart center, or arms up overhead. Breathe in to reach up, lengthening up through the crown of the head. Breathe out, press down through the ball of the foot, lunge into the left knee. Breathing in to reach, and breathing out to soften, sink in. Okay, from here, let's turn the right toes open to the side, and we'll plant the right heel down, and then extend the arms out, one over each leg. We want to keep the lunge in the left knee. And if you notice the left knee falling inwards, draw it open. So again, there's a little bit of activity along the outside of the left leg. Let's draw the shoulders together and spread the fingers wide, reaching fingertips away from one another. And gaze over top of the left fingertips, finding our warrior two pose. Arms are fairly parallel with the ground, lunging into the left knee, nice deep stretch. As we inhale, we'll lengthen, stacking shoulders over hips. And as we exhale, we'll press down into the feet. You can stay in stillness here, or you can add a little bit of movement. If you're adding the movement, inhaling, dropping the right hand, turning the left palm up and reaching those left fingertips to the ceiling for exalted warrior. Keep the lunge in the left knee. We'll exhale back to warrior two. As we inhale, reaching up. And exhale, come all the way back. And one more. Inhale, exalted warrior. Exhale, warrior two. From here, let's start to straighten out the left leg. So there's a little bit of a bend in the left knee, but it's mostly straight, it's just not locked. We'll keep the arms extending out front and back. We'll shift the hips towards the wall behind us. Reach the left hand forward, and then lower that left hand down as we reach the right hand high. So just as we did in our gate pose, we want to have minimal weight in our left hand, so there's not very much pressure in the left leg. We'll use the strength of the core to keep us lifting up, reaching up as much as you're reaching down. And working towards stacking the shoulders. You can either gaze up towards the right hand or down towards the left. Breathing in to lift up, and breathing out to press down through the feet. Good, let's bend through the right knee. We'll come all the way back up. We'll turn the hands onto the hips, and then heel toe that right foot forward until you're able to step back to the top of your mat. Let's find our active mountain pose once again. Taking the time to press down through the feet. Lift up through the crown. And take a moment to scan through the body. Noticing any differences you feel from right side to left. Allowing your breathing and your heart rate to settle if they've sped up at all. Bringing that focus, that attention back to the breath. Really feeling how the breath moves through the body. When you're ready, bring both hands onto the hips. From here, we'll slide the left foot back behind us. Toes point forward, heel presses back. Finding a high lunge on the other side. Right knee is stacking over right ankle. Toes are pointing either straight forward or a little out to the side. And we'll look for that small amount of sensation across the front of the left hip. So you can take a wider or narrower stance depending on where you feel that edge. You can adjust a couple of times before you find the one that works for you. Once you found the leg position that's right, You can leave your hands on your hips. You can bring them together in front of your heart, or you can extend them up overhead. As we inhale, we'll reach those hands up or reach the crown of the head up. As we exhale, we'll press back through the left heel, press down through the right foot, lunge a little bit deeper. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, softening, settling. Good. From here, let's plant the left heel down, turning the left toes open to the side. We'll set up for warrior two. You can adjust the distance between your feet if you need to. We'll bend the right knee over the right ankle and then draw that right knee open. We'll stack shoulders over hips so the body is opening towards the side of the mat. We'll extend our arms out, one over each leg. You can look over top of the right fingertips if that's comfortable for your neck. And as we breathe in here, focusing on lengthening the spine, shoulders stack over hips, body is long and tall. As we exhale, we'll bend into that right knee, root down through the left foot, so there's equal weight between both feet. Stay still here, or you can drop your left hand and reach your right hand high as you inhale for exalted warrior. Now exhale back to warrior two. Inhaling, lengthening. Exhaling, bringing those arms parallel with the ground. And last one, inhale, reach up. Don't lose that lunge on the right knee. And exhale back to center. From here, we'll straighten out the right leg, keeping a little bit of a bend in that right knee. Arms continue to extend out, one over each leg. We'll shift the left hip back, shift the right hand forward, and then drop that right hand down and lift the left hand back. So you can rest your hand anywhere it falls, either on your right leg or on the floor, keeping minimal pressure through that arm. So again, lifting up with the strength of the core, reaching up with the left hand. You can either look down towards the mat or up towards the ceiling. Breathe in, lift up, breathe out, root down through both feet. Good, let's bend the right knee. We'll come all the way back up. Bringing hands onto hips, we'll heel toe that left foot in until we can step back to the top of the mat. Taking a moment to find our mountain pose, rooting down through the feet, lifting up through the crown. Scanning through the body and noticing what sensation you feel. Noticing what draws your attention. When you're ready, let's bring our hands onto our hips. And we'll step back towards the middle of our mat. So we're close to the center of the mat. We're going to take a really short, extended side angle. So from the center of your mat, step your right foot back and turn those toes open, landing no further back than the back edge of your mat. Bend that left knee so it stacks over the left ankle. And this one needs a little bit more attention because the tendency is going to be to lunge really deep and pass that knee over the toes. You want to keep it back over the ankle. We'll drop the left elbow onto the left knee and then extend the right arm up and over. Lengthening all along the right side of the body. Again, you can press your hip forward. You can either look up towards the ceiling or down towards the floor. Breathe in and breathe out. And then from here, let's drop the right hand down onto the right hip. And we'll drop the left hand down onto the floor. If you need to, you can walk your right foot in a little bit further. So the left hand is maybe about a foot in front of the left foot. From here, we're going to start to shift our weight over into the left foot until the right toes get really light on the floor. You can leave them touching down, or if it's comfortable for you, you can lift them up off the ground, flexing at the ankle, pointing those toes out towards the side. You can adjust where your left hand is to find a comfortable position. We'll start to stack the shoulders one over the other and maybe extend the right arm up towards the ceiling, coming into a half moon pose. If it's uncomfortable to reach all the way down onto the floor, you could also choose to have a chair or some other piece of furniture in front of you, placing your hand down on that instead. Or you can use the wall for support if you have a wall handy. Press back through the right heel, lift up through the right hand, breathe in, and then breathe out to release, coming all the way back towards the middle of the mat. Taking a moment to roll out through wrists, roll out through ankles. And then once again, we'll find ourselves near the center of the mat. Let's bring our hands onto our hips and we'll step the left foot back, turning the toes open to the side. Again, it's a pretty short stance. We'll stack the right knee over the right ankle and then drop the right elbow down onto the right knee. From here, let's extend the left arm over towards the right side of the room, palm facing down, fingertips stretching away from left ankle. We'll breathe in to reach. Breathe up, down. Remembering not to allow that left, right knee to track past the right toes. Breathe in, reach. And breathe out, release that left hand onto the left hip. From here, we'll take the right hand down onto the floor. If you need to, you can walk that left foot in a little bit further. We'll start to shift our weight into our left foot. So our right foot getting lighter and lighter on the left foot until just the toes are touching down. You can choose to stay there, or if you'd like, you can float your left foot up off the floor. Flexing at the ankles so the toes open out to the side of the room. Stacking shoulders, stacking hips, and then maybe extending the left arm up towards the ceiling. Option to use a chair or a wall for support. Breathing in to lift up, and breathing out to root down. One more inhale. And then on the exhale, release, coming back to standing at the center of the mat and finding our mountain pose. Rooting down through both feet, lengthening up through the crown of the head. From here, let's come to find a seated position on the mat. Coming down whatever way you'd like. And coming to rest on the floor. Let's extend both feet out in front of us, flexing at the ankles, drawing the toes back towards the body. Plant the hands at the sides, coming to Dandasana, staff pose. The legs are pretty active, ankles are flexed. You can feel the muscles of the upper parts of the legs turning on a little bit more. Pressing down into the hands, lengthening up through the crown of the head, drawing the lower belly in. As we breathe in, we'll lengthen the spine, press the heels forward. As we breathe out, root down through both sitting bones. From here, let's fold the left knee, bringing the sole of the left foot just inside of the right thigh. Keep those right toes flexed. We'll bring the hands back behind us, tenting the fingers. We'll sit up nice and tall. Breathe in. And then from here, we'll hinge at the hips, leaning forward just as far as you comfortably can. You can leave your hands back behind you for support, or you can walk those hands out in front of the body. Continuing to keep the chest moving forward, collarbone broad, shoulders drawing down and back. Allow the gaze to stay focused on the toes or even past the toes. So the back of the neck is long. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, hinge and fold. When you're ready, releasing, coming all the way back upright. We'll switch sides. Taking the left foot out, drawing the right foot in. Again, we'll flex at the ankle. We'll start with touching the fingers back behind us, lifting up a little bit more tall, pressing down through both sitting bones. Inhale to lengthen, and then exhale, maybe hinge at the hips, leaning forward. You can leave your hands behind you, or you can walk them around front if that's more comfortable. Finding a focal point to gaze at, something to focus your attention on. And then allow your gaze to soften. As we inhale, focusing on lengthening the spine, and as we exhale, focusing on softening the back of the leg. A couple of slow breaths here. And then we'll walk the body back upright. Let's bend the left knee and bring the sole of the left foot just inside of the right foot, so the bottoms of the feet meet. A couple of different options here. You can place your hands back behind you and lean back, allowing yourself to be in a more passive variation of the pose, allowing gravity to work on your knees, drawing them down a little at a time. If you'd like to take a more active variation of the pose, you can hold onto your feet or your ankles, sit up tall, and then perhaps again hinge forward at the hips. Stopping when you find a place where there's some sensation. Using the inhale to lift up and exhale to hinge forward. Let's release. We'll come all the way back up. Finding whatever position you prefer with your legs. You could have your legs crossed or extended. It's up to you. Take the right arm across the front of the body and then wrap either the inside of the left hand or inside of the left elbow around that right elbow. Soften the shoulders down. And then maybe reach the right fingertips over towards the left side of the room. As we breathe in, let's focus on the spine, lifting up tall, grounding down. And as we breathe out, maybe drawing that right arm in just a little bit closer as you release tension. So working with that edge, finding that little bit of sensation and then pausing, breathing into it. Let's release that side down and we'll switch. Taking the left arm around across the front of the body and wrapping either the inside of the right hand or inside of the right elbow around it. Draw that left elbow in until you start to feel a bit of a stretch in the back of the left shoulder. We'll reach the left fingertips over towards the right side. Breathing in to lengthen, breathing out to soften, drawing that left arm in. Releasing the left arm, we'll come all the way back to center. Allow the arms to rest at the side. Let's drop the chin down towards the chest and we'll pause there. Lengthening the back of the neck, tucking the chin, softening shoulders down. You can choose if you'd like to interlace your fingers, placing your palms at the back of your head. Allow your elbows to draw towards one another, spreading the shoulder blades. Taking one or two slow breaths here. And then we'll release, coming all the way back up. From here, let's drop the left ear down towards the left shoulder, soften the right shoulder down. If you'd like, you can walk your right fingertips out onto the mat on the right side. As we breathe in, we'll focus on sitting up tall. As we breathe out, softening through the neck, releasing that right shoulder down. And releasing, we'll come back upright, bringing the right arm in. Let's drop the right ear down towards the right shoulder. Relax the left shoulder down and then walk the left fingertips out onto the ground. Pausing here for a few moments, breathing in, lifting up, breathing out, softening. Let's release, we'll come all the way back upright. And we'll make our way into a final resting pose. So a position that feels really comfortable and supported for you. Using any kind of props you might need, you could sit or you could lay down. Finding a position that allows you to ground into the earth beneath you. Letting yourself get a bit heavier, anchoring down. Once you've found that position, take a moment to really settle into it. Scanning through the body and noticing every single place where the body makes contact with the ground. And at each one of those points of contact, let yourself get a bit heavier. You can close your eyes if you'd like to turn your attention inwards. Mentally scanning through the body and noticing each and every one of those connection points, those places where you touch down on something else. Taking a moment to relax the jaw, allow the upper and lower teeth to separate from one another. Let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Releasing any expression from the face. And softening the shoulders down. Allowing the upper body to relax completely. Arms getting heavy, whether they're upright because you're seated or you're laying down and they're more connected with the ground. Taking a moment to scan through the body and notice any other areas where you feel like you're holding on, where you feel like there's some effort. And if you can, give yourself permission to release that effort. Allow the ground, allow whatever is beneath you to support you completely. And if you've been focused on controlling your breath, even letting that go. Allowing your breathing to find a comfortable, natural rhythm. Giving yourself a few moments just to rest, just to be. And let's start to bring our attention back to the body, back to the breath. We'll start to invite some small movement, gently wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. Maybe circling wrists and ankles if that's available to you. Turning your head from side to side. And bringing the body all the way back to stillness. If you are laying on your back, taking a moment to draw your knees into your chest and roll over onto one side of the body or the other, whichever you find more comfortable. Pausing for a moment. And then we'll meet in a seated position. If you have been seated and you'd like to change the shape you're in, you can do that as well. Take a moment to ground through both sides of the body, rooting down through both sitting bones. Lengthen up, and then draw hands together in front of the heart, sealing the outer edges of the palms and the tips of the fingers. I'd like to thank you for joining me and allowing me to guide you through this practice. From my light to yours, namaste.